Oh, oh, there we go. What is going on, people? OhHeyMatty here, live in the streets, bringing you another live stream for Bitcoin technical analysis, discussing news topics, answering questions for people who are willing to sit through 2-hour live streams anymore, I guess. As you guys know, we do a lot of content over on the main channel. Doing the 5-minute updates, putting out high-level reviews and stuff of that nature. So this is a space for the more loyal listeners to sit back, kick it, chill out, find out what's going on. Thank you, everyone who is here supporting the stream. Pretty low-key atmosphere, I think, today. So let's get the chat going. Where's everyone hailing in from, having a good time? Joining us. Oh, that's not working. Great. I done fucked up. Yes, sir. Let me open this. I think it's just taking a lot longer for people to come in because we're on the second channel. I don't even think people know we're on the second channel yet, but I'm trying to tell them a bunch and tell them where we're at. All right, let's get into Bitcoin while we wait for people to show up. Or should we wait for people to show up and then go into Bitcoin? I'm very confused. We'll figure it out. My short is in the red, says Andy. Oh, sorry, bud. If I'm not sure if you follow our short updates, but you would know I've been long since. Well, we can get into it of how I identified this long. Pretty easy. Let's do this, Matty. Greeting from Belgium. Thanks, Gente Vorspiels. I hope I pronounced that last part of the name wrong. So let's identify how we got here. So the candle in question is this candle right here. It's the August 15th, 10 o'clock candle. First thing I do is I take the close, 10,136. And then I plug that number into my formula, the secret sauce, and we get an arbitrary number, which falls about 8 o'clock. Now, I know that we were on the hourly at this time, and it was this one, which is the 11 o'clock candle. We'll go with this one, 10,028. Let's just bring up a calculator here. 10,028. Cool. Yeah, so it's about 80. So go over to my Renko chart and we'll go to the 1 hour and we'll plug in. I just had to restart my computer. I guess I didn't save my charts. We'll plug in 80. Is this a regular chart? No, this is the chart I want. No, is that not the chart I want? Is this not the chart that you were looking for? This is the chart we're looking for. Too many charts. Too little time. All right. So we'll go 80. And we'll come over here to identify trend. And we can see right there, we had a long fire off at 9 o'clock. So we'll have to go back here. Look at the 9 o'clock candle on the 15th, which is this candle right here. So this is where our long fired off at 9,941. Now, I missed this candle specifically. And I honestly feel that we were on the 2-hour chart. So if you look at the 2-hour chart back here, I think it eventually went over to the hourly, but you can see that this didn't go off until 10 o'clock, August 15th. So if you're looking at the 2-hour chart on 2 o'clock, August 15th, it's this candle. And my problem with this candle, well, I missed this candle. I think I woke up at like this candle. And I was like, oh crap, we're already way up here and my entry's missed. So this is why I took a trade on Ethereum, because even though this was like around the end of the day, I actually took a trade on both, just to be clear, but towards the end of the day, around the close of the daily candle, we were above the conversion line on the 16th. But if you looked at Ethereum on the 16th at the start of the daily, we were nowhere above this conversion line. We were actually at the top of the resistance. And I knew that Bitcoin was moving at about a 0.5% to 1.3% difference for Bitcoin versus Ethereum. So for every dollar that Bitcoin was moving at that time, Ethereum was moving at about a 2.5 clip. So it was moving $2.5. So I was able to say, well, if I'm going to wait for a pullback to get into both of these trades, it's way more likely that I pull back on Ethereum and hit it than vice versa. And I'll show you why. So let's say you're looking to enter into a trade, but you want to see if there's a pullback first. What you can do, Andy says there's only 5 people watching, show some nipple. I almost took my shirt off, but then I decided not to. I was excited. All right, so what you can do is you can draw a fib from the bottom of this to the top. And this one you want to be pretty precise with. So we'll get the low of this candle of 9,475. Coordinates. So 9,475. And you can take the high of this move to 10,179. And you can see here that your entry targets would be somewhere between 9,744 and 9,910. And you could probably set 3 targets here if you wanted to. And if you thought that you wouldn't be able to get to the 618, you could potentially maybe front load your 382 and then hit some 0.5. And what's the reason that we want to do this? I'll turn off my volume for a second since I never use that stupid indicator anyway. So what's the point of this, right? Why do we care about entry? Like, why the fuck do I give a fuck? If I'm in a trade, I'm in a trade, right? That's what most people think about. Well, it's pretty important. So number one, I recognize that, let me just move this away from my face. I recognize that the importance of entry and stop losses are pretty significant. My system, when I identify drawdown, doesn't really go above 5% from entry, right? So if I enter up here and I drew 5%, well, your 5% is the 786 retrace, which is fine. The only problem is that you could go retest this swing low for a double bottom and you would actually get stopped out. So what I want to see is that I can get a 5% entry to get below here. So if you actually look at, if you put like 25, whatever, 25 here, your average entry would be somewhere between the 382 and the 5. So if you could actually get an entry, which I got an entry of 9,920, which is about here, and you can see that your 5% or so is significantly lower than the lowest point that we're at. Sure, you can go down and pop a new low end, but you'd most likely get this trend reversed on you on the Renko. So that's why I find it very important that we get appropriate entries. And it's also why I find it very important for me to look at alternatives, because when we're trading futures contracts, Ethereum will typically move with Bitcoin, but at higher volatility. And if we're looking at the Bitcoin pairings for the even higher volatility, they will typically trade the opposite direction of Bitcoin unless there's like major movement going on. But we should be able to get at least an early entry on one of these. So what I was looking for here was the following. If you look at the top here and you look at where we want to come in on that average trade, I needed Bitcoin to pretty much retrace close to a little bit above the 0.5 here. We needed a come up here to about 99. We needed roughly to get to the 386 to get what I would consider to be the first portion of our entry. Mr. Thekus, yo, what's going on, bro? But if you look here at the same time frame when I'm looking at the fib retrace up to the 10 o'clock candle on the 15th, which is here, right? I think Ethereum went long maybe a little bit later, around this point right here. you can see here that if we zoom in on what's happening with Ethereum, that the percentage drop for 3%. So this is if Bitcoin dropped the same amount. The percentage drop for 3% takes you pretty far down, way farther than Bitcoin did. So I ended up setting trades for both of them. Why not? If I'm gonna ride both of them, they're both giving me a long. I know my system's gonna work for both. I was pretty confident about the long, so I had no problem setting out 2 trades with stop losses. But you can see how we decided of how. Well, first we identified where the trade was, and then we identified where we would be entering. And I wanted to get at least one full position, so I set my entries on both of them. And this first dump candle actually filled both. So it filled down to the 618 for me pretty accurately. And if you wanted to, if you're looking at it like right here, this second candle, if you had set it as soon as this candle was over, you would have filled 25% here. And then you could probably push another 25% in there if you wanted to from the 618, if you thought that you might not come back to it or might not come back to the 618. And then you can look here that if there was a pullback here, you can see how you just smash all of them as well. It would also maintain trend. So I was able to get those trades in. Awesome. And then we ended up coming up here, and there was an end-to-end trade if you're scalping. That's really good. Went down to the bottom, went up to the top, ended up coming back down. And here's where I had to manage the trade a little bit. I'm just identifying, how is the buy pressure looking? Where is it looking in terms of, this fib as we're following it along with the recent swing high? You can see here that this price action is defending the 382. Anything lower would be the 0.5. And if you broke the 0.5, you'd probably lose the overall upward of the market. So here we see that the trade is defending itself pretty well. And as we get towards this point, we get a nice little bullish candle, which breaks the baseline. And now we're kind of like, okay, well, what's happening here? So again, the 236 fib is the fib that gets defended. We have this support beneath us between the itchy and the baseline. The itchy conversion ends up coming up, showing us bullish crossing patterns. And as soon as price reaches that itchy, we get a nice moon. And here is our close to end-to-end trade from the bottom of the Ichimoku cloud to the top of the Ichimoku cloud. So we extend our Fibonacci again. And now we see that our resistance zone is falling. Or sorry, not resistance, but our support zone is falling somewhere in this range between 10,486 and 10,163. At this point, I have taken, we'll just draw the full thing. At this point, I have taken profit of 25% of my trade off of Bitcoin, 75% off Ethereum. So Ethereum was really the one to trade. We saw that I think it was up at least 5% yesterday at the minimum. But we can come in here and see, where our actual PTs are in terms of what we're trying to accomplish here. Just roughly draw that. And we can see that our first PT got taken at 382. We're trying to get a second PT at 10,911. So this is another important thing when we're trading, is understanding how much upside the trade has. So if we're trading on the 2 hour, we can identify the 200 period moving average is sitting right here. We can identify that the flat top resistance is sitting right here. So I can tell you that the likelihood when I'm looking at this trade is likely to hit the 382 if it confirms through this resistance area, which it ended up doing. And then from there, it's going to have a little bit of a tough time getting up to that 0.5, but we'll most likely hit it if we get up into this range. It's most likely going to get a little pop out here, but it's going to be very difficult to get through this 200 period moving average. So you can see by taking this trade on Bitcoin that there is a trade here, but you're probably not going to hit that 0.618, and it's probably going to be very difficult to get your uncapped portion of your trade, your 25% of your trade above that. If you actually look over on Ethereum though, this is not the case. So we'll just kind of scroll up here and we'll do a fib from the recent high on Ethereum and show you why this is the case. So we'll come down here and draw our fib area. Actually, I think I may have drawn that. I think I might have actually drawn it from here. But so here we can see when we originally were looking at the target that I don't think this was materialized yet. It might have been. The 618 still above the 200, but our 0.5 and our 382 are both below the 200. So we can see that there's room for more gains happening. You're looking at like maybe 6% there and 10% there on leverage, obviously. So 4x leverage, that would be 40% and 24%, 25 to 40% on that. And then your 618 sits right above there. So maybe it's a little bit more difficult to get the 618. I would not be opposed to measuring from this previous high as well, if you want to talk about hitting all three, because this was a significant pullback. But I'd like to measure the full move and lower the subjectivity, as that's part of our system. So I think that this gives us a pretty good idea of what's going on. So I guess what you guys came for, and then if you don't want to stick around for the Q&A section, essentially what we're looking at here is that I'm continuing my longs to try and get to these additional PTs. I think that there's room for Ethereum to pop up above this this resistance and get up to the 582 and retest this 200 period. I think that on Bitcoin, it's a similar story. If we can get above this 10.8, it looks like we just actually, while we're sitting here on the live stream, it looks like Bitcoin made a little move up to 10.853, but still has not hit my PT at 10.9. But if we hit 10.9, I'll make some more money and we'll all be gravy train. Is there any questions that you guys have in the chat? Chat's pretty dead today, it looks like. I know it's going to take a little bit for our live streams to really kick off and get more people to come over here. And I think that they get a lot of value from the 5-minute Bitcoin updates. But I also think that there's value in these live streams from the Q&A section. So I want to make sure that the people who want to watch them are getting those questions answered appropriately. Because we did have a huge live factor from our other channel. And I don't think that it's helping the channel grow at the moment. So that's why we're over here. And that's also why there's only 10 people here. So, cheers. Ooh. Okay. Just checking something. I am going to look at some altcoin pairings in a second. See what those are doing as well. See if there's any information that we can extract while you guys maybe think up some questions. The hardcore elite group. Hey, you know, it's whatever. I honestly feel that there's so much value in these live streams. Like, I actually find it very flattering. Someone hit me up and wants to be a mentor under me. So we're discussing that, which I think is cool. You know, I did a lot of coaching back when I was a poker player. I never thought that I would start doing that in the trading world, but there's obviously people who find value in what I'm saying. And I think that over here on this stream, this is where kind of the hardcore, you know, like you said, the hardcore elite group, the people who really care about trading, who find value in what's going on, that can supersede like that quick 5-minute update and are probably not, they're probably chilling at work or something like that. So that's why I think it's important to still have this. This candle is showing us a lot of sell pressure. The 2-hour candle is closing in about 30 minutes. So we're seeing our first taste of resistance up here. So maybe in the next half an hour, we'll see another push up. But I look for this type of stuff. This is very important. We are making a higher high compared to the last push up in this range. We're getting our first taste above there. But we're also seeing that there's a ton of sell pressure here. So if this sell pressure continues to metastasize itself, we may see just a retest of this 382, which this entire 382 is a portion of the previous resistance. So you can see this area was roughly the previous resistance. I'll drop it down to there. And this will now be our support, which is always nice to have when you're going up through the Ichimoku cloud, to have support first test is a failure, though. I'm going to assume that we may test it another time, but I think my dog's streaming. You know how they make that weird sound when they're sleeping. I can hear. Yeah, but this is incredible sell pressure that's happening up in here. So we'll have to see what happens here if we accumulate some more and then maybe pop out up here, or if we get down here. I'd love to get up to this 10.9 fib, this 0.5 fib. Just touch it for just a second, so I can take my profits. But for now, we're just going to be playing with this range, probably for some time. You know, with a finite support at 10,530, or no, sorry, 10,573, and with price mainly just chilling in here. And it looks like we also had, yeah. So that line we bounced off of was these previous candles right here, but I don't really find. Oh, okay. Yeah, it was this previous uptrend that got rejected, and this previous downtrend that came around the point of the 200 moving average. So interesting data there. And then also some previous peaks of relevance, probably not too important as well. So yeah, I wanted to look at LTC, BTC before I go. Maybe we'll look at some news articles. It seems like a slow day. Everyone's got a case of the Mondays today. That's what we'll call it. All right, so looking at Litecoin BTC, we can see that there is a clear support that's being tested for the third time down here. Our resistance area, as far as I can tell, is in this range. We're gonna see if we can identify another resistance area. Yeah, you could probably call it on a flat line there. Probably somewhere in this. Yeah, I'm gonna go with here. Roughly right about there. That also correlates with the flat top resistance. You're seeing a rejection here, support until rejection here, support here, and also some support here before breakdown. So these are really your three ranges of interest. And I'm just going to tell you right now that if I rank code this, this would be short. But since we are hitting a support zone, a rejection off here, and a pullback to the conversion line at 0.007262 would be a very interesting entry for Litecoin. And I'd probably measure this previous top first and see what that looks like. I think my thing's in the way. Yeah, my bad, dude. Come on, guys. You gotta tell me when that's happening. Right about here. So we'll bring that up. And entry would probably be somewhere around here. That's not really a lot of fat to chew on, so I'd probably go higher and look at this overall move. We can see that bounce off the 382 and is now testing a double bottom. And that's about 5%, 6.8 point something. If you enter up here, it's closer to 6. The only thing that worries me about this is that if Litecoin was going up against the BTC pairing, my expectation is that Bitcoin would want to go down. So we need to see what that looks like. The LTC BTC is down 3.5 today, 3.6, and Bitcoin's up 3.6. So you can kind of see what that correlation is looking like. In fact, all the Bitcoin pairings on the right hand side are down between 3.5 and 5%. So if there was a rally here on the support, then my expectation would be that Bitcoin is going to get rejected and go down. And then the alternative would be that we finally break through the support to the downside, which is terrible for Litecoin, and that Bitcoin starts mooning. My anticipation is that we're going to go up to 10.9 and then probably get rejected on Bitcoin. So then that would that would kind of put into place this rally that Litecoin could see. I want to go back and see when's the last time that we broke this. Maybe go to a 4-hour chart. Daily chart. Here's where we are now. The last time we broke this support was December of 2018. So it's a pretty historical support. We also broke it back in December of 2017, I believe. So you can kind of go back here and see that, you know, since we've been keeping records of LTC, BTC in the middle of July, we have not broken this support really. The last time in December of 2018, November 2018, this was really the heart of the bear market where we found our lows. We're retesting that low again for like the 4th or 5th time. There was another time that happened towards the end of the bull market. Also same support. So this is a pretty hardcore support, and to expect it to go down is unlikely. And if that happens, we're definitely going into like a golden bull run. So I can actually look at Litecoin BTC pretty significantly as a early indicator to see what's going to happen over on Bitcoin. And I do think that the titles and the thumbnails that I've chosen are pretty appropriate because this is a critical resistance, in my opinion, leading up to maybe even the 618. This is a critical resistance area for the bulls to break if they want to reverse trend. Otherwise, we're going to be seeing some significant downturn, I would assume, for another test of the 9K going down to that middle range. So this is where all the magic is going to happen. This is where the fight will happen at. So let me know if you guys have any questions in the chat. Otherwise, I'm going to take off and take a nap. We'll call it a day. Make sure you smash that like, by the way. Subscribe. Let us know. I just did it. You can too. Give you guys maybe a few minutes. Maybe we'll look at some news articles. See what's going on the crypto panic. Move this out of the way so I can see. Yeah, so we got bot getting cleared for launches here. Was yesterday an ascending triangle or an ascending channel on Bitcoin? It was both. It was both. Let's go into that. Is that me? Hey, look, it's me. Bitcoin at critical resistance, make or break for bulls. People actually upvoted it on Crypto Panic, dude. We're making waves, bro. People are loving our content. Yeah, it was both, right? So the ascending triangle wasn't confirmed until here, right? And the reason being is because this was like really the start of the level, and this was technically by the naked eye looked like a lower low, or lower high from this high, but we were actually making higher highs, and here we were making lower highs, right? So your lower portion of this always was accumulation to the upside, right? We just had no confidence on whether or not this was an accumulation to the upside of the top portion of the channel. So at this moment here, and this is why this stuff is a little subjective and I don't use it as much, at this point here, it was an ascending channel. We came back down and tested, came back up here and double topped. And this is now clear that we have 1, 2, 3 touches, which is what you're looking for. You actually can't confirm a triangle, in my opinion, without 3 touches. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The channel, on the other hand, was, you don't need 3 touches for, and that was 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2. So that was pretty clear. So when we came down here and we had a pullback to the 382, that confirmed that we were in an ascending triangle. We retested the bottom of this range again, and then kapooey, we broke the triangle. So if you're looking at this from a triangle perspective, I'll measure it from the top peak to here. Let me pull this over so I can see, and we'll say it's roughly 8.38%. And as I said, I don't think these things always play out like this either. So if you felt this ascending triangle was legitimate, we'll measure it from the 236 since that's where really the top is. You'd be looking to maybe get, I think it's 39, maybe get to 11.4. And as I said, my PT is at 11.248, which is awesome. That's my third PT. And it would not surprise me if maybe we get up there and we show a little extra teeth trying to get above there and then get rejected. So that can all fall within the purview of what's happening. This descending triangle, which I've been drawing for some time, this is all the way up at 11.7 right now. But if you figure how long it may take to get up into this range, it may only be at 11.5, or maybe it takes maybe it goes something like this, where comes up, rejects off the 200, comes down, rejects off the flat bottom, 200 rejection, whatever. And then here, which is August 30th, I don't think the trade's going to be that long. My trades typically don't take longer than 3 to 5 days. This trade has been going on since roughly August 15th. This is our fourth day of the trade. Our last trade was about a week. And then we get to this point, and this is 11.350. That hits my PT, and it hits the top of the triangle. And then we look for this to maybe just kind of crash and burn back down. And the triangle is somewhere at 9K down here. So looking for break. But I hope that makes sense why this is. Let me just remove all this shit I really hated on my chart. I hope that makes sense whether or not whether that was a descending or ascending triangle or an ascending channel. I would almost dare to say, to answer your question specifically, that ascending channels will always be formed before recognition of an ascending triangle. Same with a descending. Because you're going into an upward pattern, and you need to confirm this flat top resistance on the third touch to get the ascending triangle. Also, ascending channels can also be viewed as bear flags. People will typically look at them as bear flags, and those also correlate with an ascending triangle because it'll be a bear flag that never comes up to test this resistance because it invalidates itself on the break of the bottom, and that's very subjective as well. So we need to understand that a lot of these all correlate with each other, right? A bear flag, and that's why I didn't really understand what the fuck Richard Hart was talking about on his Twitter, where he was saying about the flag or whatever. Maybe he was on some deep level I wasn't even on. But if this is an ascending channel and we break to the downside, it invalidates a triangle that never existed, and it becomes a bear flag, right? And if I draw that, this would be, that's your bear flag, and then that's your breakdown, and then this is your pole, right? But if we end up validating and not breaking down, and then we come up here and we form a new higher high or whatever, it's still a chance, but it becomes less relevant. And if we end up, doing a double top or whatever for a third time, that's now considered an ascending triangle. So kind of funny how they all can relate to one another. Yeah, so Bacht, I think that Bacht is the most stupid thing I've ever heard of. It's nice to see institutional interest being taken in our space, but my major problem is that this market is clearly a 24/7 market. All the action happens over the weekend. The CME does not trade over the weekend, so therefore there's all this stuff about CME gaps and all this different bullshit. And until we get an institutional trading firm that comes along that offers futures to the public in the US that trades 24/7, I don't give a shit about it. When TD Ameritrade comes along, I want to see if they're willing to offer a 24/7 futures market, because that's a lot more meaningful to me, because that will signify a shift away from BitMEX, away from Deribit, and away from Bybit over to a more mature market that's institutional, that can protect your money, and that also offers the 24/7. Because right now, crypto traders do not want a 24/5 market. So they better get with it or hit the bricks. They do have options though, so that's nice. BitMEX blocks services in 3 countries amid CFTC probe. Great. I hope they're not watching my trading account, dude. Cryptocurrencies derivatives exchanges BitMEX has discontinued offering services to the users of 3 countries. Fun fact, its offices have regions in those countries. Let's see here. Following the announcement, BitMEX's service now stands unavailable to the citizens of 11 regions, which also include the US, the province of Quebec in Canada, Cuba, Crimea, and Sevastopol, Iran, Syria, North Korea, and Sudan. Well, so I find it funny that the US and Quebec are on the same league of pretty much dictatorships and terrorist havens. Hi everyone, I'm late today. All good. Alice Potabacan, thank you for coming in, bro. Continuous support on the channel. But they haven't serviced the US ever. So what does this do? BitMEX and insider trading. BitMEX's ban on local users comes more than a month after... When was this article written? August 9th, 2019. What the fuck? What's your thoughts on platforms where you can lock your crypto like Nexo and others that give like 6 to 10%? I think that they are doing a proof of stake model that is a security because you're giving a guaranteed dividend based on a percentage. I don't know if it's not related to the success of the token or company, but it is related to the success of the adoption of the blockchain. I'm not a legal advisor. That wasn't legal advice. I'm not qualified to give legal advice. That's just purely my opinion. But when you give out dividends to someone, you're essentially security-like, and I think that in the future, coins that do that will, suffer from it. So that's what I think about it. I think it's awesome. I think it's great. I love dividends. I think that the future of decentralized blockchains are going to be dividend based. I think Vitalik is trying to push for this Ethereum 2.0. I think he's gonna offer an alternative to a decentralized network where everyone can participate to secure the network for a 5% dividend. And I think that this is a more decentralized model than, let's say, Bitcoin, where 80% of the coins are held in like one wallet and all the miners control the hash power and whatever. More than mining and the hash power stuff for the 51% attack. Like when Blockstream came out and was like, yeah, we own like 15% of the hash power on the network if going full force now. I think that's very dangerous. Like if Blockstream, a company, can do that, then what's stopping the United States government, who we made Bitcoin to fight against from their centralization? What's stopping the United States government from saying, okay, we're just going to build 3 times or 4 times the amount of hash power that Blockstream has, and then perform a 51% attack against the network and disrupt it and ruin its credibility? What's stopping the U.S. government from doing that? I think it's an inherent flaw that is a ticking time bomb. So I would much rather see other blockchain companies come forward and build off of Satoshi's vision, so that way that they can offer alternatives in a decentralized manner that will, number one, still incentivize people, since that was the number one concern of Satoshi and his cohorts that built Bitcoin. They can still incentivize people to protect the network. It can still be decentralized. It can still be peer-to-peer, and it can still scale. Those are my 4 important things of what I want to see out of a blockchain in the future, because that's where the intrinsic value comes from in terms of having a blockchain. And if we can do that in a more decentralized way, then what's wrong with rallying around something like that, especially for a company that can perhaps do it faster with less technical debt, etc., or could even build from Bitcoin instead of the slow progress that we get from Bitcoin specifically. So yeah, I think that Bitcoin maxi pads, and I like to call them that because they cry all the time about people who want to speak about alternative visions. I think that, Bitcoin maxi pads have all their coins tied up in Bitcoin, and they don't want to admit to the fact that we can build something better without Bitcoin or off of Bitcoin or from Bitcoin, that'll most likely come to fruition a lot quicker than Bitcoin will, because the centralization on Bitcoin causes the miners and the people who are making the decisions to take so long to adopt anything based on their own profitability. If you look at some of the, like Segwit, I believe, they decided that they were going to push Segwit down the road because they wanted to make money. They would lose money off of it, from my understanding. So I want to see decentralized visions come forward that can rival or push Bitcoin in a much more aggressive path towards the number one goal of being actually decentralized and not, decentralized in name, because there is a centralization issue that we're ignoring, whether you think it's insignificant or whether you think it's significant, whatever. But there is inherent risk, and I think that Bitcoin is still in such a volatile state right now in the early infancies that a major bad actor coming along and with that type of capital to be able to do something like that, though unlikely, is an inherent risk that Bitcoin takes on. And I don't want this train to get derailed because of that. I think that's reasonable to talk about. You can stake stable coins. Not sure if it works, but seeing some Twitch guy said he has most of his crypto there instead of holding in a hardware wallet and getting nothing extra. I don't agree with storing a large section of your crypto on some random platform. I'm super pro owning your own crypto and doing your own thing with your own money. If you want to put a small portion on there, that's fine. But I'm not trusting Nexo with all my portfolio. That's ridiculous. I feel bad for that guy because he's exposing himself to potentially getting wrecked. But, high risk, high reward. If I recall, Nexo had those things floating around on Twitter where there was some like naked girl riding some dude and was like, "Oh yeah, Nexo." I was like, "What the fuck?" But yeah, I mean, dude, more power to them, bro. Let's get some more opportunity to make money for people in the space. Let's get people coming along and making 12% dividends, dude. 6 to 10% dividends. He has it on 3 platforms. I mean, I'm only dedicating like 10% of my overall net worth of my crypto to something like that. I would not dedicate like all of it. I mean, look at all the people who had their money on BitConnect, bro. Like they're done. Put a fork in them. BitConnect. Next thing you know, we'll be talking about Nexo Connect and how this dude lost all his money because he didn't diversify his risk by having all his money in like one thing. And like it goes for wallets too, right? Like you shouldn't hold all your money in one wallet. Like you should probably have like 10 different wallets. Siphon all your money into those 10 different wallets and then have them at different locations around the world. Like and that's what owning your own money is all about, I guess. But back to this, I don't really understand what this article says. Rabani accused BitMEX of insider trading, front running, floating AML KYC regs, charging high fees, taking advantage of unaccredited investors by offering them up to 100x leverage on crypto derivatives, turning a blind eye to U.S. customers, illegally trading markets. Oh my God. Dr. Doom, Business Insider, bro. This is the hit piece. The debate did not land well for BitMEX on many accounts. The exchange soon found itself amid a fresh controversy. Bloomberg reported that the U.S. Commodity Futures Trading Commission has been investigating the company for illegally offering crypto derivative services to the U.S. citizens. This is like these articles are super FUD. Diversify Wu-Tang Financials. These articles are super FUD. For a government who thinks that they're the shit, by the way, the United States government, for a government to think that another company or a company in another jurisdiction who has an IP ban on using their exchange is obligated to put their business at risk to run KYC AML when they're in a country that doesn't actually have to comply with that law is a very big overreach. And for them to try and prove, there's no case. Like when here's the thing: when the United States government takes you to court, right? The success rate of prosecution is 95%. It's like ridiculously high. Do you know why the success rate of prosecution is 95%? So Wiggis. The success rate of prosecution is 95% because they build a solid case against you. And if the case that they bring, like when the case of the New York Attorney General with Tether, right? If the case that they bring against you is you service U.S. citizens, so therefore you should run KYC AML, and BitMEX says, no, we actually block IPs from that jurisdiction, and they say, well, you could have taken it a step farther and ran a KYC AML, and they like, well, the jurisdiction we're in doesn't require us to do that. And then the judge is going to be like, all right, this is a joke. Get this case out of here. That's what happened with Tether and Bitfinex. And they were doing money laundering, right? Money laundering. So no judge is even going to take this case seriously. So there's not going to be any repercussions. The only repercussions might be that they're forced to close down their offices in the United States. That's about the only thing that the government could probably apply towards them. King Nick, what's up, bro? Because they know they're going to win. What's up, King Nick? King Nick in the house. It's my boy. We go back. But yeah, it's stupid. And I don't even understand why this is even news. It's like, oh, following the announcement, these following provinces are not allowed to trade on BitMEX. These following provinces haven't been allowed to trade on BitMEX since like 2017 or 2018 or ever. I don't even know if it was ever. They've never been allowed to trade on it. Everyone uses VPNs to get around it. Like, in what world is this happening? And then, like, on top of that, BitMEX is getting the persecution, but people are moving over to Deribit and Bybit. It's just an endless cycle. Like, do you guys know how many derivatives exchange in the traditional currency market trade illegally with too high of a leverage? And like I said at the beginning of this stream, I'm not going to trade on an institutional exchange that only offers 24/5 leverage. If you want to compete with BitMEX and truly shut them out and say it's over, BitMEX, you're done, you need TD Ameritrade or another institutional like exchange to open up 24/7 trading. Could it be like PokerStars and some big company like TD Ameritrade lobby to go after BitMEX so they control the market? This will happen for sure. TD Ameritrade, Bach, these other guys, they're going to try and lean on BitMEX and other competitors to force them out of the market, to force them into a KYC AML situation legally. And it's going to come down to whether, these exchanges want to, whether it's worth it or not to accept US customers. Binance saw this as well. They got to a point. BitMEX could see this as well. But if you notice, KuCoin and BitMEX don't require KYCs to trade on their exchanges. And those are like two of the top two shitcoin exchanges out there outside of Binance and Huobi. So you're going to see the same thing. We're just going to go over to Deribit. The final solution is that you let us trade 24/7 on a futures exchange and not 24/5. Why would anyone want to trade 24/5 on a futures exchange in the US on an institutional exchange? You're putting yourself at a disadvantage to the rest of the market who's going to manipulate the price over the weekend. And we see it happen every weekend. Every weekend, Saturday and Sunday, the price is mooning or dropping significantly. Who wants to be out of the market during that time? You'd be lighting your money on fire. So, if TD Ameritrade wants to become a serious player in this space and Bach for that matter, they're going to want to have to offer 24/7 futures options because it's just not going to work for us average folk, us regular traders. So let's see what else is in the news wire. Winklevoss Gemini Crypto Exchange hires new chief security officer. Vitalik Buterin says Ethereum scalability issues is proving to be a formidable impediment to adoption by institutions. I would say that scalability is is that really news, bro? Like, who says that? Bro, Ethereum scalability is going to be an issue. Be like, dude, no one's adopting anything because it can't scale. Oh my God. Deloitte Rosa demonstratable blockchain platform. Okay. Bank of America files patent for multi-tiered digital currency wallet. Lego. This is what I was talking about earlier. Barclays has cut off Coinbase in the UK, and I bet you that you're going to see Barclays come out with their own cryptocurrency stuff. We called this weeks ago when the Zcash news broke. Bitcoin purges most pro BCH posts from his account. World Bank sells 33.8 million more of its private Ethereum blockchain bonds. What does that mean? That's not good. Maybe they think the top's end, dude. Mike Novogratz tipped them off. The World Bank has issued a second round of its landmark blockchain bonds. The international financial institution raised another 50 million AUD by selling the blockchain-operated debt instrument in Australia with the RBC. Both new and existing investors participated. All told, the World Bank has issued 160 million AUD, which run on... Okay, so they were selling the bonds. Got it. They were selling the bonds, and people bought them up. That's good. This is good news. Selling bonds. Getting crypto into the hands of the average folk. Circle CEO Jeremy Allaire talks Bitcoin's disastrous week. WanChain releases upgraded services ahead of validator nodes launch. Let's check it out, boys. We're going to be buying some WAN. My favorite. Let's check out the USD pairing. WAN's up 2% today. It's at an all-time low. And I'll refresh this and get the Renko charts up for you. This will be exciting. If it ever loads. All right, so I'm going to assume that this is on a 4-hour chart. I'll just look at the 12 o'clock candle. Is there hope? Let's see. This is on the daily. Let's just go down to the 4-hour. Yep, looks like there's something going on here. All right. 0.2282. All right. 0.0018. Let's bring this down a little bit. Is that right? Okay, we'll go to the 2-hour. That's really low. Looks like we're trading the 40% ATR on the hourly right now. It's kind of weird. Scroll down to the bottom and bring up WAN USD on the hourly. We'll set our Renko setting. All right. What happened here? Got some thunderstorms coming in on my end, so if you hear a little thunder, then that is why. All right. So looking at here, we had a little bit of divergence here. Never cross back below this conversion line if you wanted to maintain the trade, since you were up from your, let's see here, your 10 o'clock candle. So this USD has kind of been floating with the market since a lot of some of the altcoins have been going up. So it went up roughly, let's see here. Right now, since the initial trade, 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, we'll take this trade. It went up to a high of like 12%, came back down, and now you're back into the trade with confirmation going on. I don't know what it was. What is this? August 18th. So on August 18th, you'd be looking at something completely different. Yeah, we wouldn't even be trading this chart. Okay. Where are we on price? I don't see anything. Let's bring this up. Oh, it's getting really dark out now. I thought the thunder I heard was something else. No, dude. All right, so kind of this trend area. And here's 1-2 touches. Looks like an upward trend channel, but there's a resistance here that was this previous support. You can check it out right here. So it's kind of your resistance zone. Pop off here to the top would retest that top and then would turn this into an ascending triangle with breakout potential to the upside, since that's mainly what we're seeing on a lot of different things right now. So what I can tell you is that we're seeing bullish accumulation, and we're seeing a recent long signal here after breaking the top. And what I would look for is a fib retrace that I'm going to take from the previous high. Yeah, so you can see that we're testing the 382 for the second time, getting a little nice little something there. So if you weren't in this trade already, then you don't really have much upside going for you. To maybe like 3.5% to 7%, and then you would be going up to like 20%. So since it's already up a significant amount, getting above that 618 is going to be very difficult, because that's where you had a lot of accumulation coming back here to August 9th to August 13th. But on this news, there's definitely some bullish momentum. There's been some accumulation that we missed out on. So I hope that helps. I think so. Crypto zombie. Bullish for Bitcoin. Massive money to flood crypto. Bears still call 8K BTC. How many characters is that, bro? I don't want to play his thing on here because it'll... No, stop. Jesus, bro. What the fuck? Can you look into IOTA USD? Sure. I just want to count how many characters he had in this thing. 80. That's a lot. All right. IOTA USD. Now, mind you, these will not help us with trades. This is why I checked alts daily, but it will help you with like what you may want to look for. Look at IOTA Tether. Oh man, I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, guys. Only about 5 hours. It's gonna be a good night's sleep tonight, that's for sure. I'm gonna finally be able to sit down and wake up at like 6 a.m., which is I know that doesn't sound that appealing to you guys, but when you get older, you look forward to those days. Oh, this is your favorite shitcoin, K-pop? Nice, dude. Let's see if we can make you a winner. All right, 25.9. That's what the price was, 0.259. So I'm gonna be looking for something in the 0.002 range. And let's bring this down a little bit. All right. So our range is somewhere between the conservative chart being the 2 hour and the reactive chart being the 3 hour. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the 2 hour and I'm going to put in our setting, which is 0.002. And I'm going to see here that we had a long happen around August 15th. And we've been up pretty significantly. This long did not trail back on us. We'll draw a fib. So for that long, I would have been targeting... We're about to hit our target right now, which is 0.25. This long got taken at like... Let's see here. 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 20 o'clock. The close on here was 23.6. And I don't know what it was back then, but it's probably roughly the same. So right now we're up about 6%. It's heading towards 7%. So yeah, it's definitely in a bullish pattern right now, continuing. I can take a look on the daily for you, but it's not going to be really absolutely conclusive. Let me see what that daily is at right now. 0.0078. Okay. So we can look here at 0.0078. So I'm not trading the daily, I'm trading the 2 hour. I'm just looking to see if this daily has crossed over, because what happens here is that the trend is a little distorted up here. So the sweet spot of the trend is happening at 2 hours, right? And though there's a trend here, and we can see the overall trend is bearish, if I was trading the daily, I would not be taking any of these longs because the overall trend is bearish. So I wouldn't be taking this long, wouldn't be taking this long. I would just be considered there, right? So this means that we need more to identify. First thing we need to do is get another one of these long signals that'll happen when we retest this 7-period EMA. But what I really need to see is price going above the conversion line and the baseline. And if you're looking at those, that's roughly around 31 cents, right? 32 cents right now and 37 cents. So for the daily to go bullish for me into a bullish pattern, I want to see at least getting up into the 30-cent range, where we can start to identify, perhaps start testing some of these resistances. Looking back over here, you have some, well, it's now resistance now. You've kind of broken down from this support range. So you're now below that. So now the next retest would be the bottom at 21.6. And then I think that's it. So yeah, there you go. That's IOTA. Any other favorite shitcoins for people out there besides Bitcoin? I always call Bitcoin my favorite shitcoin. But that's because I trade it. You would probably have hostility towards anything you traded every day. What is resistance? Social role-playing card-based party game. The game's premise involves a war between government and resistance groups and players. Huh, never heard of it. Don Eskridge is the designer. Link. Oh, you want to look at Link? Yeah, we can take a look at Link. The game takes upward to a half an hour and are played with 5 to 10 players. The Resistance was initially playable with the standard 52 card deck of playing cards, but the newest version of the game includes extra cards which cannot be simulated in such a way. The published version of the game includes a board to track progress, roll cards, voting cards, mission success and fails cards, tokens, and additional game modifying plot cards. The Resistance is regarded as more complex than similar party games, giving the players more information and opportunity to deceive. Thematically, the game shares the same dystopian setting as Coup and Gritters. Interesting. All right. Yeah, you want to take a look at Link? You can take a look at Link. Did you watch any of Mike Mattisell's YouTube channel videos? Oh, you talking about his new podcast that he has? No, I haven't. I haven't looked at it. Is it good? I heard some people were saying it was all right. I kind of feel like Mike Madison can be a big asshole sometimes, so I don't really watch a lot of his stuff. All right. Yeah, I mean, Link's been on a golden bull run forever. PDP, what's up, bro? It's funny. Yeah, I'll check it out, dude. So, as you guys know, I took a 1x long on Link like a while back. I've been actually pretty accurate with calls on Link as of late, which is cool. I think I exited somewhere in this range, or maybe it was in this range. I don't remember. You have to check maybe it was up here. Actually, I think it was. Yeah, I think I exited up here, and then there was a dump, but it looks like it's coming back up. I'm going to tell you right now, it probably went long somewhere around here, and now we're up here facing another high. But it looks like it's doing pretty good. It's coming to retest this previous high, which we should most likely expect rejection off of typically. But I mean, the trade looks like it's already gone, in my opinion. We'll just look at what time was this? 2:59.5. Which is 2 cents. And it's the bottom end of this range, so 0.00 or 0.022. This is the daily, 2 hour. Oh. Just want to make sure this is accurate. I don't think it is. No, it's 0.02. Okay. So recently I had a long go off at, yeah, 1400 on August 17th. And your previous, I don't know why that happened. Your previous trend was this fib area, which we're going to extend over to where we're at. So it came down here, hit the low, went up to the 618 area, retraced to the 236, and then now we're here at the 786. So most likely going to continue for a little bit longer. Stop doing that. What do we think about BTC right now? Could it break 11K resistance? So I just put out my 5-minute update, talked about that. We also talked about this at the beginning of the stream, but just to reiterate, I think we're going to be going up to the like 10.9 to 11.3 range. And then if we break that, it's pretty bullish, but my expectation is rejection. When Link tokens will be released from private investment. I invested in Link back in like 2017, so I would assume that Link is already out. Like all the people who invested in Link are out. There wasn't, like back in 2017, there wasn't any vesting period on tokens back then. They were all liquid. So I don't, unless there was like a seed round that I'm unaware of that those tokens are coming out. But I don't think there's anything like that for Link unless someone else knows about it. But yeah, I invested in 2017, like August or July, whenever that. And it may have been later actually. There was DNT and ZRX in August, I think, and then Link I think was a few months later, or like a month later. But even then, none of the tokens in 2017 really had heavy vesting. Like all the tokens in 2018, 2019 have vesting. So yeah, I don't think there's any sort of like thing like that. I think that for me, I'm bearish on Bitcoin long term, but right now I'm still in my long, and I'm going to see how long I can take it. I'm hoping to hit a 10.9. That's where my next PT is, and then I'm hoping to hit 10.250. And then from there, I'm just expecting to look for a short. to continue. There are no lockups on Chainlink. Everything's unlocked, including the team's tokens, though several million are reserved for partnering companies who want to run the validation nodes. Yeah, so I think King Nick and I both did Chainlink together. We did Chainlink together, bro. But yeah, there's no lockups for sure. Do you still have BitMEX tokens? They will cancel mining thing. They have less dividends for you guys to have your tokens locked. What the fuck? Dude, they suck, bro. How hard do I have to get fucked by BitMEX? Seriously, like we've had our tokens for like ever. They're like, oh yeah, we plan in 2 years to have everything unlocked. Not at this fucking rate, dude. I'll be lucky if I get my tokens in 20 years. That company will be insolvent and long gone before I even get fucking 25% of my tokens. It's fucking ridiculous. It's like, how long does one man have to hold, dude? They want us to liquidate and take a loss of like 1/3 of our value so we can take their stupid BTMXP token. Yeah, I still have my BitMEX token if you can't tell. They will cancel mining thing they have. Why are they canceling the mining? What's the purpose? Do they want to try and prop up their BTMXP token? A good sign will be a big candle to the upside followed by another one to the downside. Yeah, but I'm all about those candle closes, bro. It tells you a lot more. You can gain information by watching a candle happen in terms of how difficult it is for them to be able to move the price, but candle closes are king, and wicks. They didn't announce when they will shut down the trading mining thing. I mean, they said that they were going to shut it down for a little bit. Let me look on Telegram. Let's take a look, dude. Admin, the miners need to trade a ton to get tokens, and they do so fast if you check the charts on the mining pairs. But our average mining volume out of mining pairs is about 150 million in average. Why CoinGecko only shows 14 million? Okay, another point. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Nick, do you know anything about this BTMX mining getting shut down? I mean, if they have a better way for me to get my goddamn tokens, I will absolutely take that. I don't see anything in here in their chat regarding them shutting down. This is like for the last few weeks, 3 weeks. I see them shilling their BTMXP. If I understand right, after mining stops in Q3, holders of BTMX will continue to get a share of BitMEX exchange trading commissions, which will start to rise after 6 to 8 months to a level that is much higher than the current rate. Answer: we will announce the mining stop plans in Q3. The exact stop date is to be determined. Yes, data usage reward will be continued. Cool. So that's essentially what's happening with that, is that the rumor has it that mining will cease to exist, and that's fine because it sucks. And their trading fees will increase and therefore be higher than the current mining rate, which will most likely still suck, but it will not suck as much. So maybe they can give us more percentage of the fees. So that way we can get our tokens back, bro. I'm fine with the gradual release and hold, because at least, you know, my money on paper stays significant and I can just slowly drip it into me. I mean, like, I'm already up money, right? Like, for what I got so far, like, you have to understand, like, BitMEX is up like 20x from the private sale, and I at least have received 10 to 15%. So if you multiply, 20 by 10, that's 200. So I'm at least up 2x on my initial investment. And now I'm just getting a bleeding dividend. So I don't really care that much. I think the token price will dip hard because they have most of their volume on this mining thing. I don't think the token price is going to dip hard at all. If you think about it from a perspective, yeah, I mean, so if you think about it, less tokens are being introduced into the circulating supply, which is a bullish thing. And in my opinion, it's probably just I wish I could look up. Let me look. Let me bring this up off screen real quick. Bitmax.io. That's Bitmax. I want Bitmax.io. Okay. Rumor has it. All right, let's bring this down on the screen then. Come on. Get the fuck down there. I want to look at the daily. Yeah, look at that. Price is about the fucking moon, boys. I may put like 5,000 in the Bitmax. That's not financial advice, but this thing's looking like it's gonna fucking moon. So this is clearly accumulation. I can see it right here. We're now have the super solid support heading above. Where are we right now? 11 cents, 11 and a half cents. Ooh, girl, please serenade me with your sick gains. Yeah, this looks bullish, dude. This looks like an accumulation triangle going on. Higher lows, higher highs, slowly going up. They control most of the price. And look, they're doing it on super low volume. Fucking love these scam artists. It's so sick. Yeah, that's sick, dude. Same thing happened over here. You can't see the Ichimoku. All right, guys, you heard it here. Bitmax going to the fucking moon. I'm looking for, so here was the previous high. This moon broke the previous high by, fuck over here, bro. Rumor has it. Give me that shit. Broke the previous high by about 75%. So even if we break this high by 50%, okay, it's a one-time thing. Even if we break this high by 50%, you would have hit 50 cents, and that would mean that you would go 5x from where we are right now. And if you had bought the bottom, which is 7 cents, you would have went like 7x. So, yeah, I may just take 5K, put it in the Bitmax, and be like, whatever. Why not? Fuck yeah, Bitmax, you rock. I heard last all-time high was some whales playing with tokens or something. There's no circulating supply. Like, that's the problem. Like back here, right? Back here, only 12% of the circulating supply was out. Here, it's like, I'm pretty sure I've only gotten 3%. So maybe 15%. I could look. And I'm talking about like from the investors side of things. Coin market cap. I don't know why this stupid self key is like booked. That's such a shit coin that. You remember self key King Nick? I don't even want to talk about that, dude. If you look at BTMX, they don't even have the circulating supply. You know why? Because it's so shit. I think I looked it up in their Telegram before, but I don't really trust those numbers. Circulating supply. The Bitmax total circulating supply right now is 944.9 million. No, that's not right. Oh, here it is. Here it is. They say that there's 768 million in the circulating supply. Dude, Mr. Thekas, I can't even tell you how shit they were. I literally legally for a friend, I can't tell you how shit they were, bro. That's all I can say. But there was some get fucked that happened with that fucking coin. I'm not going to get into it. So 768 million out of 10 billion. BitMEX is claiming that only 7.7% of the circulating supply is out there, right? And they're saying that there's like 768 million times 0.11116. The market cap's only 90 million, right? Oh, you're in the same group, bro? Yeah, bro. You know the pain, dog. You know the pain, dude. Let's just say, bro. So 90 million is the market cap. The market cap of Binance is 4.4 billion. Like, the market cap of fucking Qcoin, which I think BitMEX is a better coin than Qcoin, is 150 million, right? Huobi token, let me just look at something real quick. Where's Huobi? Huobi? Yeah, it's Huobi. I always have to pronounce it like that. Huobi token is 250 million. So, in my opinion, BitMEX is somewhere between Huobi token and Qcoin in terms of actual value. And that's like 250 plus 125 divided by 2, which is 187 divided by 90, which is like 2.1x. Maybe we'll call it 2.5x, which is about half of what I said it could potentially do. You know, and you could definitely soar past them too on like a bull run or whatever. We have a big move or something like that. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm liking this, bro. I think this is bullish news that token holders are going to get less rewards for a period of time, and that they're getting rid of this stupid mining software. And like, people just love George Cow, bro. It's like he's the fucking man, like, according to a lot of people. So, and they run a tight ship over there. Like, I've dealt with a couple projects that have dealt with them. It's been a really tight ship. It's been really professional from my understanding, except for one project that complained about them. But for the most part, you know, I understand that BitMEX is doing like big things. So, would not surprise me if we see some huge rally off this news. So yeah, I'm gonna go buy some right after this call's done. As soon as this call's over, bro, I'm buying some more BTMX. I gotta check how much I have like some in a wallet right now. Let me check that out. How much do I have in a wallet at the moment? Oh, there's the thunder. Thunder. I got about 1,250 in there, so yeah, I guess I'll pad on another 5K. That'll give me like 6.5K. And then if I can 5x that, bro, that'll be like 30 grand in the bank. Nah, so there's BTMX and then there's BTMXP. BTMX is just the BitMEX token, unlock circulating supply. The BTMXP, that's the lock token. So it's essentially like a futures contract, which is up 8.5% right now. Kind of weird. Are we seeing the same price action over here on the daily? It's kind of weird that it's what? It's so weird. Look, it's like mooning. Why is it mooning? That doesn't make any sense. Are they gonna discontinue it? Maybe it's just adjusting in price. Yeah, BTMX is going up too. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to like here's the thing. BTMX has been keeping a 1/3 ratio. So if we go up to like 50 cents and divide that by 3, that means BTMXP will go up to like 17 or 18 cents, which is like, you take 18 cents divided by 0.04. It's like 4.5x, whatever your portfolio is, and you can just trade it. That'd be savage, bro. Let's see here. Okay. I should really have this under BTMXP on my portfolio. Got it. All right, well. I only got BitMEX tokens for dividends and missed the Bitcoin run. Oh, nice. Speaking of BitMEX, fucking this whole deep cloud AI situation, I figured I'd address that. I had a bag of deep cloud AI that was worth like 10K, and the reason why I never sold it was because the circulating supply was so low that I just figured, like, what's the point of selling it? It could hit another volume spike or whatever, and then I could sell it. So, or like, even if some tokens came into circulation or whatever, it wouldn't be that bad, you know? And I could get notified and then sell it at like 7 or 8. And I noticed over the course of like a week or two, my bag went from like 8 or 9,000 all the way down to 1.5K. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I saw that that BitMEX had released some statement saying that without notifying investors, or without notifying BitMEX for that matter, they decided to release tokens from their own bag into circulating supply for like specific purposes, and like marketing and whatever. And I think this is fine. The problem is that they never notified anyone. So like, kind of sucks. I'm a little mad about that. If they increase the percentage shared and they get more users, then this should moon. Yeah, I mean, for sure. I think they're getting more users every day, but I think this is a good opportunity for this to moon. Look at it, it's going to retest the resistance right now. So this will be good overall, because my overall bag that's locked, I could liquidate that. Like, I would say, you know, for me, when if BTMXP gets up to like the price of BTMX now, I would definitely be in the ballpark of just liquidating and then also buying some BTMX now, and then also having that as my exposure. So if I bought like 5,000 BTMX now, and this thing went to like 5x, right? Then whatever my portfolio is like worth right now in BTMX, that would go up like 2x or whatever, because I think I already have it in as a certain thing, or maybe it wouldn't. Maybe it'll go up. We'll have to see. But either way, it would be really lucrative for me, because I would have what my portfolio is like roughly worth after it goes up in the tokens I buy now, and then I can just liquidate the rest in BTMXP. But if I'm thinking that way, then I'm sure a lot of people are also thinking that way. So, especially like the lower people, like someone like me who only threw in like 5K or whatever it was added originally. So, you know, I'm sure all the big guys already sold off a big chunk. If they increase percentage, yeah, sure. All right, any other questions, guys, before we roll on? I think this was like definitely a laid back stream for sure. For sure. For sure, and 7 Bitcoin ago, our founding fathers came to this shore to bring the decentralized revolution to our doorstep. Is there any other news I didn't cover? The Ethereum cartel. Oh, there's a cartel. What makes Bitcoin successful? Its design, or the technology, an idea, a cartel? What? That didn't make sense. Binance plans launch a new global crypto project to reshape the world of financial systems. That sounds interesting. Binance, the world's largest crypto exchange with trading volume, has launched a new blockchain called Venus. Oh, I heard about this. Someone made a joke online that was like if someone has Venus and the other has Uranus or whatever. Sudden, okay. Stablecoins and crypto assets backed by fiat currencies as localized take on Facebook Libra. Got it. Yeah. I don't really care that much. All right, guys. If that's it, I'm going to go eat something. I'm hungry. Let me know if you have any final questions. I don't think we do. So I am going to exit stage left. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you hit the subscribe button, the likes, leave comments in the below so we can let other people know that we are having a good time over here on the OhHeyMatty stream. Eat some tacos for me. Nah, I'm a little tacoed out, bro. I'm gonna eat some Doritos and then eat some chicken, I guess. Taco Tuesday. Oh, it's Taco Tuesday, bro. It's Taco Tuesday. Taco Bell. Yo quiero. You're killing me, bro. All right, dude. All right, guys. Thanks everyone for coming out. Had a good time. I'd like to see all the loyal followers and subscribers over here. Hope you guys are loving the content too over here on the live channel. Hope it's serving its. I think it's definitely serving its purpose. That's for sure. All right, guys. Anyway, enjoy the TA. Don't forget to check out our Bitcoin morning update that we put out earlier today for Bitcoin if you want a 5-minute take. And look for the 5-minute take tonight for the Bitcoin nightcap. All right, guys.